Hello everyone. Let's look at today's Leetcode problem 3445 maximum difference between even and odd frequencies part 2. Before starting this problem, let us look at a motivational quote for today. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Chinese proverb. It's a reminder that time passes very quickly and delaying actions can lead to missed chances. No matter how much time has been lost, the next best opportunity to start is right now. Avoid procrastination, which leads to more regret. Take decisive actions to bring progress in your life. If you have delayed getting in shape, uh, you can start it off right now. It doesn't happen if you wait for a perfect time. Dreams do not have an expiration date. Every small step today counts towards a long-term success. Okay, so let us understand this problem. So this is an hard problem. So let me just understand this problem statement that is being given here. You are given uh, you are given a string s and an integer k. Your task is to find maximum difference between the frequency of two characters, frequency a minus frequency b in substring subs of s, such that subs has a size of at least k and character a has an odd frequency in subs and character b has an even frequency in subs. Okay, so return the maximum difference. Note that subs can contain more than two distinct characters. Can contain more than two distinct characters. Okay, so let us look at these two examples. So let's say if our substring was 1223, this entire piece of substring, which is the entire string input, then we have uh, one as our first character and 3 as a p character which has a frequency of 2 and this has a frequency of 1. So obviously this is has at least k characters, so this is obviously more than k characters, which means we obviously need to pick more than four characters, so it should be 4 plus 1 and the entire string is the one that we are picking here. So it would be 2 minus 1, which is minus sorry, 1 minus 2, which is minus 1. So that's the output that we see here. Similarly, here in this case of a string, we have k is equals to 3, which means we can pick a minimum of so here let's say we pick 2 which has a frequency of 3 and 1 which has a frequency of 2 is even, and we see 3 occurrences of it, and the substring subs is equals to 1122 and 1 has a frequency of which has a frequency of 2. So this would be 3 minus 2, right? And this would be 1. Okay, so it's the maximum difference between even and odd. So that's what we are doing here. And if you see here, we are asked with 3 and we have only 3 substrings and subs will be 110, while even 1 minus uh, the 0 which has a 0 frequency, which is minus 1. Okay, so let us uh, look at an approach on how we can try solving this problem. So yeah, so this is obviously an hard problem. Let me write down few approaches with a sliding window pattern. So first thing that we need to do here is calculate the frequency or track the frequency, and one other criteria that we need to keep in mind which would help us is this one, where s will have characters ranging from 0 to 4, any character in any character of. So we can have an array which would be of 5 rows and 5 rows and columns, and then we can use that to constantly do a lookup on these as we would be building our frequency array. And this would be helpful for having to create a lookup for quickly to access the frequencies of substring. And let's call this part 1, and in the part 2 where we are going to calculate max distance from A to B or the frequencies from A to B. So here we are going to have a function A, B, K and N and frequencies. And we know that frequency A is odd, frequency of B is even. A is odd and B is even, right? So yeah. Okay, so yeah, this I am just seeing this. So 0 is odd and has a frequency 0 characters or 1 character. 1 minus 2. 1 has a frequency even times, and this is odd and this is even. So this will be minus 1. So that's the whole output. So this was not the one. Okay, so that being said, we will continue here. And then we are going to do certain things, maybe and now we are going to use a sliding window approach. To calculate frequency A and previous of A, which would be 0, and previous of B, which would also be 0, and we are going to keep left and right index also. We are going to keep track of a left and right index to have a sliding window where, let's say, right is equals to k minus 1, and we are obviously going to move the right pointer till n, or the length of the string, and it would be this way where frequency of A is equals to frequency of A comma right plus 1. This will be part of our frequency array that we initially built. Similarly, frequency B while right minus 1 plus right minus left is greater than k and frequency b minus, we are going to update min frequency with previous of a and 1, and similarly for previous of b and 1 we are going to set the min value with this entire thing or a new frequency. So, and then we are going to keep track of count, which is equal to max max value of current count, or frequency a minus b minus min frequency So we do that for all the pairs, and we know that each character will be ranging from 0 to 4 only. So that's a big advantage. So let's try solving it maybe with Leetcode. Maybe I'll add in some code snippets from there. Let's Okay, so let's try solving this problem. Uh, so far we have created a few variables. One is length of the string input is, and frequencies of each character is, and their possible substrings. And we are doing this 0 to 5, as we know that we would only be having a character ranging from 0 to 4 at any point of time as per the constraints. we are going to have a function which helps us calculating difference. So these set of if loops help us in checking if a frequency of a specific character is 0 and a is not equal to b, since we need to have uh, characters a and b not equal, and also frequency of b which should not be equal to 0, right? So once we match all these base criteria, then we calculate answer, which would be math. Okay, after all these we can return our answer, but now it's time to build this function which helps us calculate uh, the frequency difference between two characters. So we are going to have a bunch of frequency variables for current frequency and previous frequency, and we are going to initialize a left pointer. And we are going to start a sliding window where Our right pointer will be starting from k minus 1, as this is the input k, which needs to be the minimum length of substring. And we are going to get the frequency of a specific character at a plus with the frequency array, and similarly we are going to do it for the frequency p, and we are going to store a minimum frequency between previous a, previous b, uh, and we are going to calculate the maximum difference between the two frequencies with frequency a minus frequency b, this min frequency Okay, this should solve this problem. Let us try submitting this. This should be L and this should be frequency P. Okay, so as you can see, the solution gets submitted. The time and space complexity of the solution is time complexity would be of n, as we are iterating through the string characters here, and we would not be having uh, any additional time complexity, as we are having to set a frequency for 5, and we are doing it this way, as we know that the characters or the numbers will only be ranging from 0 to 4, and space complexity will be of n, as well as we are storing this frequency here. So yeah, time and the space complexity both will be of n. Yeah, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.